In 1985, or thereabouts, I was a young agricultural economist and living in a country that was Mandela country, as we call it. And I was handed a bunch of young students black students from the University of Fort Hare. And they came and they offered me themselves. And this is what they did when I left and moved on. I got this wonderful letter from them. It says, "You built our minds and familiarized them to the atmosphere we didn't know. Incentives such as study groups have done us well. Your way of handling people makes us not to forget the kind of man you are." And then it goes on, the students. I'll never forget it. And it profoundly influenced my life. And it profoundly influenced the way I go about doing my business. And because I came from a country that was riddled with apartheid, they were the influences. And in fact, in many ways, they taught me much about myself that I probably didn't know at the time. And over the years, I've been very, very focused on the people-centric side of developing people's minds to be able to produce and sustain a good outcome in terms of, the ordinary business of life. I've constantly pursued the idea that this will continue with the rest of my life, and then got into the world of leadership and business leadership and compassion for business leaders and for myself, because, they're often up against some very difficult and trying times. So a bit of tongue-in-the-cheek stuff. I named it in my workshop, Rumble in the Jungle. And it's based primarily on the work of Professor Bob Keegan, Step Back Consulting, which was developed, and I was fortunate enough to have him supervise me and direct my program when I was doing my doctorate. So what I did is, leading up to that particular event, what I started doing is started running workshops again, where I put business leaders into a situation where they would work through a processed way on a dilemma or a particular obstacle they were trying to fulfill in terms of growing their businesses. So based on that, I developed a workshop which has been tried and tested through 7 years of research, and obviously Bob Keegan's research, nearly 45 years of his own work in there. And I must acknowledge him completely. And I think he's one of the most understated people that I have come across in the world of thought leadership and what works and doesn't work. So Rumble in the Jungle was created and now runs to bring businessmen together in such a way that they can actually work on a particular dilemma in psychologically very safe space and access the experience and the knowledge of the room through a process of parallel learning. It's the ability for them to step out of their day-to-day and into a room, whether it's a virtual room or whether it's in a meeting room, and spend time with each other and actually through the collective find a way of solving problems that have caused them a certain amount of stuckness, mostly in the world of leadership, mostly in the world of human resources and people management, and sometimes in the world of finance and marketing and all the other sort of normal basic good business practices. So we run it, and we run it on a month-to-month or on a quarterly basis. It's a great event. It's run by me. I very much hands-on in it. And what happens is people do come out with some kind of a framework that they can use in their own settings, and then they can revisit it with each other in terms of what progress they've made when they meet each other. So normally a group of about 8 people. Is it effective? Well, I would imagine I have lost count of the amount of workshops I have run, my Rumble in the Jungle workshops. But I do know without a doubt that the guys are stuck to it and are still sticking to it and still running them in their own settings, where I'm still involved, have succeeded and have compounded their growth tremendously. And there's a serious amount of strong evidence to support that. The whole idea is psychological safety, and the whole idea is making sure that people are co-creating and working in a safe space. So if you're interested, it'd be nice to talk to you. If you want to, you can contact me. And I'll leave my details for you at the end of this video.